Hey everybody, welcome back. Movie review time, where we geek out about a movie we just saw, and we just saw The Angry Birds Movie 2. Yeah, The Angry Birds Movie 2. Sorry, I was trying to remember the title. I was like, is it The Angry Birds 2 the movie? Is it The Angry Birds the movie 2? Yeah, wah, wah, wah. Yeah. Anyways, this is going to be our no spoiler discussion. We're just going to take a few minutes to give you our basic thoughts and opinions on this film. And, we won't have any spoilers. If we accidentally say a spoiler, we'll cut it out. However, there is going to be a spoiler video. It probably comes out tomorrow. Where we'll go more in depth over some of our favorite bits and pieces of this movie. Mm-hmm. That also said, we don't consider ourselves film critics. We're not really reviewing as much as we are just geeking out about movies, because we like to talk about movies and say what we think. So, Angry Birds 2, I gotta clear my throat, so why don't you start? What'd you think?
Okay, so we saw Angry Birds 1 in the theater, yes. And we both remember going like, that was way better than it should have been.
Yeah, I was a firm defender of the first one and promoter of it, yeah.
And here's the thing, I don't really remember the first one so well, so I'm having trouble saying how this compares to that. But again, I have the sense of this was better than it probably should have been.
I remember Red had to go to anger management and things like that. I actually remember part one pretty well myself, which is weird because I usually forget one. But yeah, I'm with you, and like I had heard all the hype on part two because caught me off guard. I need a new system of figuring out when movies actually come out, because I just got in the habit of just checking the Thursdays and being like, what's new for that Thursday? But this actually opened on Tuesday. It's not a holiday week. Not entirely sure why. So that's why we're a little bit late technically to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely loved it. Even on top of all the hype going in, totally overhyped for it. It was still, not overhyped, I was just really hyped for it, and it was still really fun. Through and through, really fun. I really don't have any complaints about it, except part 3's not out. I mean, it's that kind of movie. I mean, it's not like a Star Wars or a Godzilla for me, where it's like, oh my god, that was life-changing, I just went to my own version of church kind of thing, but I mean, it's just a great, fun, animated movie. It's gorgeous. The pacing is fantastic. Like, the pacing, it just rolls, man. It starts and it just keeps on rolling. And the new characters, the old characters, all the characters are fun. I care about them. I think the older characters, they really zoned in more on really defining their personalities and stuff, and didn't get too annoying. Like Chuck maybe got a little annoying in the first one, but in this one he was just right. And
he wasn't in it that much, actually.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They balanced it. They used him just right. Well, there were so many characters in this one. I don't think anybody's in it that much, except maybe Red himself.
You ever play the games?
Yeah, I used to play. Yeah, I played some of the original ones.
Do you have any idea what Silver's supposed to be? Because, like Chuck's like the
No, I think that came later. I played some of the basic original stuff.
I'm in the same boat. So I'm sitting around like, is she based
that far.
Off of one of the bird types?
Maybe.
Or
I gotta turn that AC back on.
Because there's so many versions out now. So, hey, if you happen to know the answer to that, just leave a note in the comments.
Speaking of comments, though, be careful. People might have spoilers in there. It just happens sometimes. But, you can try if you want. But yeah, no, I really liked that. The new addition, the story, like, and I'm not going to tell you, but the why and the how of everything, I thought worked really, really well. Some of the comedy is just absolutely stupid in the best of ways. Like, not like bad, stupid, and I'm laughing because it's bad, but like, it's just, it says physics, hold my beer. It does some crazy stuff, but it just works, and it's just like piled on and piled on and piled on. And unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of people in our screening, but of course, it's been out a few days. It was us and another couple, and but even that, like, we were all just laughing constantly through this thing. And there's nothing too scary. There's some great stuff that has been in trailers, but I still don't want to spoil it here either. And like the newer characters, like the hatchlings.
But God, the hatchlings. I need a movie just for the hatchlings. Actually, or a TV series.
Well,
they could do a TV series.
Yeah, I could see that, and I'm hoping they'll do like they do with, like, it's not the same companies, but like they did with Minions. Like when the movies come out, it's like, here's 3 Minion shorts, as Blu-ray bonuses. Like I would love some hatchling shorts on the Blu-ray. They were fantastically performed, voiced, and as much as I loved the main character story and what they did with that hatchling story, like that was my jam. Probably because it's not quite as extreme and ludicrous as like Looney Tunes style, but it was definitely like, that was Looney Tunes influenced in a lot of ways, like the timing, the pacing of the comedy and everything. Really, really enjoyed that. Beautiful to look at. The colors are great. The soundtrack is fun, and there's something I'm not gonna say because I don't want to spoil it here. But I was so happy, especially because it relates to something we've been talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Lately, and we'll tell you about that in the spoilers.
I do like the cinematic version of the Angry Birds theme.
Yeah. Opening and ending and everything, everywhere they used it. Yeah, they did a really good orchestral version of that. Yeah. The islands are beautiful. I love the way it starts off. Just that whole kind of sequence of events, and picking up from, not really picking up right off the last one, but definitely referring to events of the last one. You could probably, I think you could watch this without seeing the first one, but why? I mean, the first one's actually really good. It's not as good as this one. Yeah. And I would say this is one of those rare cases where I agree the sequel is better than, might as well. I mean, you have most of it up there. So the sequel is better than the original. So yeah, I highly recommend this. We saw it in 3D. I don't think really the 3D was worth it though. I didn't really. No, there's just some immersion, but
yeah, there's a couple places.
I don't feel like we benefited seeing
most
it in 3D.
At the very, very beginning where it had the opening logo type thing, and it had like the feathers, and there's like
that's true. But then other than that, I don't know that the 3D is really terribly worth it. Outside of just some simple basic immersion, which is nice too, but I don't think I would have missed anything had I not seen it in 3D. Nothing in the credits. I mean, there's some cool art and stuff in the beginning of the credits, but there's no like mid or post credit scenes or anything like that. Although there is a place and a slightly inappropriate placement of certain titles, and I can tell you this because it has nothing to do with the movie at all, so there's not any kind of spoiler. But a lot of animated movies, they'll do the production babies at the end. They'll list all the babies' names that were born during a production. The credit immediately after that was in memory of a person who had passed, and my brain immediately went to, wait, did one of the production babies die? And I was like, oh god, that got dark. Which is clearly not the case, but it was like, oh, the placement of that was weird. Yeah, just a random thing. So that's my only complaint about the movie was that. Like seriously, I got nothing bad to say about this. It made me want popcorn. There was that one scene, and it looked so good. Like the CG in it looked so good that I was like, you could tell me that was real, and I would believe you, because, damn. Now I want popcorn. Apparently I'm hungry again. That ramen didn't quite get me there.
As long as you don't tell me that you're eating floor popcorn.
No, but I did just remember we got those bacon wrapped jalapeno cream cheese popper potato chips, but I'm not going to open those yet. But so that's pretty much Angry Birds. We should also mention too, just real quick, again, no spoilers, but there's a great animated short they've added on that opens with it.
Oh yeah.
I meant to start with this and I totally forgot, but I think it's called Hair Love or Love Hair.
Hair Love.
Hair Love, and it's fantastic. And honestly, very early on I thought, oh no, they're gonna do that trope, and they subverted that. But I wasn't coming to Angry Birds to cry, and I was like, oh god, it's getting me, don't stop me. But also it's beautiful, it's charming. It
felt like a Pixar short.
It did. It had that emotion to it and that movement. I mean, it was totally different animation style.
Right.
I will not be surprised if that short gets a Academy Award nomination for Best Animated Short this year, or next year, however you want to phrase it. So, so that was a real nice surprise too. Although, like I said, emotionally, but then again, I guess you get to get emotional in the beginning, and then you just get to turn your brain off and just laugh like crazy at just some absolute absurdist humor. And I love that even a lot of the humor subverts your expectations of what's going to happen. The eagle characters particularly.
What was interesting about that short was that it was apparently largely Patreon funded.
Yeah, a lot of Kickstarter stuff too, I noticed in there. So I was like, wow, it's an animated short. Okay, maybe music license, but... I guess they had.
Well, that tells me like the studio wasn't, paying for it, apparently.
No, it's an independent short that got picked up and added to this fairly close to when it was going to be released. It's kind of a last minute kind of thing, but
which is kind of unusual.
Yeah, it's very unusual, but I can see why. It's one of those things that's so good that the studio probably saw this and thought, we need to get this out here. And you know what? Oh, you know what? They are thinking Oscars, because this gives it an actual theater run. So it can be, because I guess the animated shorts have to have played in a theater, not counting the Oscar Shorts package. I have a feeling a lot of them
do like film festival stuff.
Right, yeah, maybe that counts. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I'm glad they tacked that on, because that was really good too. But yeah, overall, I'm just going to say 100% totally recommend the Angry Birds 2. Fantastic. I'll totally watch this again.
Now, if you didn't like Angry Birds 1, then don't bother.
See, I don't know. I can't necessarily agree with that because a lot of people didn't like Angry Birds 1, but I think they're going to like this more because there's so much more happening and so many more jokes that even if they don't all land, and I think the type of humor is slightly different too, because I do think they brought a lot more, I keep using the reference of Looney Tunes, they brought a lot more of that energy to it that the first one didn't have, and it's kind of a slightly different style of comedy. Also, keep in mind she doesn't remember the first one.
Yeah.
So maybe take that with a grain of salt.
I feel like this was similar enough to the first one. Maybe not, less gross out humor, I think. Although there was 1 or 2 scenes.
No, I think that's probably about the same, but the gross out humor in this is great. It's really hilarious. But yeah, so that's my thoughts. That's her thoughts. We get to have different opinions. It's fine. We're still gonna kiss later.
And to all the people who think that we're siblings are going, ew!
Well, it is Kentucky.
That's right, it's Kentucky. It's not West Virginia, sweetie.
Mountain Mama. On that note, all right, we're going to get out of here so we can get into the spoiler thing. So click the thumbs up button. Give us the good old thumb of encouragement. We do love to be encouraged. Comment, but no spoilers in this one, please. And if you are worried about spoilers, maybe stay out of there. Until you've seen the movie. All right, so all that stuff, thumbs up. We're going to get out of here. We're going to go watch some more stuff, and we'll see you all later.